So without further ado, our Governor, Mark Sanford.
Did you notice the caveat he threw in there? He said, over time. So I may be like Moses in the promised land. We may have worked on a lot of stuff. I may hear about it, may see it one day, but...
I got 40 years.
Exactly right, I don't. Anyway, my job is simply to introduce somebody who needs no introduction whatsoever. Before I get there, I will say it's always a pleasure to be in the company of my old boss, Mr. Speaker. Pleasure to be with you and to be in your company. I want to say thank you all for supporting Jim. Am I sounding that alarm, or is that okay? That's people leaving as I talk. I got it. But anyway, I think that it is incredibly important that y'all are doing what you're doing in support of Jim, because both at the national level, at the local level, at the state level, we're in a real fight when days aren't so good, a debate when days are a bit better, on the heart and soul of what our party's about. I was at a Budget Control Board meeting this morning. It's kind of like a visit to the dentist's office for me, but I was at the Budget Control Board meeting this morning, and we were in an interesting debate on whether or not some projects should be funded in light of what I think we all know is coming our way in terms of financial uncertainty and a bit of stress on that front. And with all due respect to the Treasurer, Congress says, no, we need to fund these projects because if we spend more money at the government level, it'll help grow the economy. I said, well, that's true if you're a Keynesian, but the Republican Party is about free markets, and it's about putting as much money into the private sector as possible and letting them decide where that money goes to then build the economy. And that little debate that we had this morning is a microcosm of a much bigger debate that is taking place in the halls of Washington that Jim is front and center on in terms of trying to direct our party away from the model of Ted Stevens, with all due respect to Ted Stevens, or others like him in, quote, the Republican Party, and toward what I think all of y'all are about, what private enterprise is about, what private business people are about, what soccer moms are about, in believing in this conservative mantra of more in the way of liberty, more in the way of freedom, and that's the way we grow our economy, and that's the way we make our country stronger. And so, as an American more than a South Carolinian, I want to say thank you very, very much for what you're doing, and to stress its importance, and to thank every one of you all for being part of that extended debate through your support of Jim. Jim, come on up and